DETV News is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
Live proudly, boldly, and with peace of mind by advocating for your health with an early cancer screening. The LGBTQIA+ community is at higher risk of cancer, but screenings can detect cancer early when it's most treatable, giving you the power to live exactly as you are. Talk to your healthcare provider today. If you don't have insurance, talk to a nurse navigator to see if you qualify for free screenings.
Mother Nature provided her own fireworks over the weekend. Severe storms triggered a confirmed tornado, as well as several warnings throughout our area. Plus, it was a historic end to a legislative session down in Dover. We'll have those highlights for you. And the 4th of July weekend is upon us. If you're looking for things to do, we'll have a full list of where to catch the sparks fly here in the first state. Those stories and much more straight ahead on DETV News. Hello and welcome to DETV News. I'm Matt Ford. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping the news, a series of storms rolled through the Delaware Valley region last night, which caused tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm watches to be set by the National Weather Service. Tornado warnings were in Newcastle County Sunday night. The National Weather Service confirmed a tornado touched down in New London Township, Pennsylvania shortly before 8 p.m. Officials with the National Weather Service will determine the strength of the tornado at a later time. Now, several cars were damaged in Edgemoor after a severe storm rolled through the northern area of Newcastle County Sunday, and a tornado warning was issued for our area around 8 o'clock last night for about a half an hour. In that warning, the National Weather Service reported that a confirmed tornado was spotted over North Star just west of Hockessin. And in other news, Newark police are investigating a shooting that has left a man hospitalized in critical condition. The victim was found at a vehicle at a crash scene Sunday night. Here's the area as a map on your screen. Police also received reports of shots fired in the area. An investigation indicates that the victim was shot on Dunsmore Road, then drove away and was involved in a crash. He was then treated by paramedics and member of the Aetna Hose Hook and Ladder Company before he was taken to the hospital. Now, anyone who can help with investigation details in this shooting is asked to contact Newark Police at the number seen on your screen. And a woman was hospitalized Sunday after a shooting took place at an apartment complex in Newcastle. Police say they were called to the William Penn Village Apartments at Tulip Lane and Amstel Drive around 3:30 in the afternoon. The victim was located inside the apartment and she was suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. That's according to police. Officials rushed to her to Christiana Care Hospital, and there is no word yet on her condition. Police have also not released her identity at this time. And a 77-year-old woman was killed Saturday night near Newark as she tried to walk across a dark street. That's according to Delaware State Police. They say the woman, who is from Newark, was struck so hard by a black 2004 Volkswagen traveling westbound on the Ogletown-Stanton Road that she was launched into the air and landed on top of a silver Kia Forte that had been waiting to turn left onto Cheswold Boulevard. That's according to Delaware State Police. Now, the police say that the driver of the GTI was from a 19-year-old man from Elkton, Maryland. The woman, whose name is being withheld until family is notified, was unfortunately pronounced dead at the scene. Drivers and passengers of the other two cars were unharmed, according to police. And a 35-year-old man is in critical condition after he was hit by a car in Wilmington early Sunday morning, and the driver of the car that hit him is still at large. Newcastle County Police and paramedics, along with crews from Brandywine 100 and Claymont Fire Companies, found the victim at North Market and 39th Streets about 1:30 in the morning. The man was treated at the scene for head and internal injuries and taken to Christiana Hospital. As of June 28th, Delaware has seen 74 traffic deaths so far. This year, approximately, we are on pace to equal the state record of 165 traffic fatalities just last year. Delaware, get this, is the 5th most dangerous state for pedestrians in the entire country. According to a study from 2016 to 2020, this spring, the state proposed a number of laws and programs devoted to improving road safety here in Delaware. June, July, and August are typically the most dangerous months for traffic fatalities in our state. The Delaware State Fire Marshal's Office is investigating a fatal fire here in Newcastle County. Middletown Fire Company was alerted to a fire at Sully's Pub at the intersection of Main and Broad Streets over the weekend. Arriving firefighters reported a fire in a second-floor apartment. While battling the flames, firefighters also discovered a body inside the apartment. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Fire damage was contained to one apartment. And it was a historic end to the legislative session on Friday night. Pete Schwarzkopf handed the gavel of Speaker of the House in Delaware's General Assembly to Valerie Longhurst on the final day of the 23 legislative year. Longhurst takes over a position held by a Sussex County Democrat since 2012. Schwarzkopf said he started telling his colleagues about 8 months ago that he was going to step aside at some point in the session of the Assembly, but he swore them to secrecy as none of them could confirm his intent on the record. Schwarzkopf said the main reason for reducing his responsibilities came when his wife spent nearly 5 days in the hospital last year. Schwarzkopf said he didn't even want to continue running for the House seat at that point, but it was already after the primary filing deadline, so had he dropped out of the campaign, the Democratic Party would not have had a candidate on the ballot. Schwarzkopf said his wife was eventually diagnosed with what's called long-haul COVID, and she was in the chamber along with his family hours before the vote to name Longhurst as the new speaker. Now, Longhurst came to the House of Representatives back in 2005 and became a majority whip in 2008 before beginning her run as House Majority Leader in 2012 in concert with Schwarzkopf's move to Speaker's chair. Longhurst will now oversee the first ever all-women Democratic leadership group in the House. Melissa Minor Brown was voted as the new Majority Leader, while her former post as Majority Whip will be filled by Carrie Evelyn Harris. The first year of the 152nd Delaware legislative session, as we told you, came to an end on Friday. Lawmakers were busy passing bills, including the legalization of recreational marijuana, police reform, mental health bills, curbing climate change, and more. Many pieces of legislation now await Governor Carney's signature. I want to tell you a few of those that sparked some controversy Friday just before legislators went to break. The first up, House Bill 201 is supposed to let a police officer act immediately when they see or suspect that someone has a gun in a safe school and recreation zone, in an effort to keep firearms from school property to minimize the possibility of a shooting. Bill 201 exempts that those that have a valid license and keep either their guns off school property in their car or locked up. However, numerous representatives oppose this now passed bill. Senator Brian Pettyjohn said that when people are limited in the ways they can protect themselves, there is the possibility of turning those people into victims instead. Concerns about individuals being able to protect themselves is high on the list, of course, citing football games and large gatherings where danger could arise. The bill gives regulations for schools to follow when a student has a firearm in a safe school and recreation zone. Expulsion for 3 months is the average punishment, but the school board can modify it. And the Senate has officially rejected the House's attempt to change Delaware's political calendar. Listen to this. Bill 215's purpose was to align voting for the primaries to be the same as when the presidential election year's voting would be done. Now, the goal was to have, of course, higher voter turnout in those years, but the Senate saw it differently, voting 3 noes, 18 not voting, and not a single yes for Bill 215. Senator Brian Townsend says that the bill just simply needs more work before being put into law. He says that he believes in the idea behind it, but would like to work on it collaboratively before it could be enacted. Meanwhile, Friday, lawmakers in both chambers gave final approval to a host of bills, including government spending, police reform, and environmental measures. Among the approved bills was a measure requiring newly constructed single-family and multi-family residential dwellings to include electric vehicle charging infrastructures. Lawmakers also passed a bill directing a state environmental official to study transmission impacts of offshore wind development, work with neighboring states on offshore wind transmission, and study a process for procuring offshore wind power. Those bills were among several environmental measures lawmakers approved this year. Others include establishing a goal of reducing net greenhouse gas emission by 50% by the year 2030 compared to a 2005 baseline, and net zero greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2050. Lawmakers also approved a bill prohibiting restaurants from serving food in containers made of polystyrene starting July 1st of 2025. Food establishments also will be prohibited of providing single-use plastic straws unless requested by a customer. Plastic coffee stirrers, cocktail picks, and sandwich picks will also be banned. Other bills require a gradually increasing percentage of school buses purchased by the Department of Education each year to be electric vehicles, and new commercial buildings with foundation footprints of 50,000 square feet or more to be able to support rooftop solar infrastructure. Lawmakers also codified an electric vehicle rebate program. Also revising the state's needle exchange program to provide new needles and syringes to drug addicts based on their needs, rather than requiring they turn in one used syringe for each new one received. State officials estimate an additional 850,000 to 1.36 million syringes per year will be needed for this. And from Wilmington to the Big Apple, a few alums from Cab Calloway School of the Arts are stars now on Broadway. DETV's Kaylin Pride had the chance to speak with one and visit the art school where it all began. Take a look.
I love seeing all my kids succeed.
Cab Calloway School of the Arts is Delaware's premier fine and performing arts school. Students study art forms such as dance, strings, vocal, and theater, with hopes of pursuing their dreams and one day making it big. While that dream has come true for a few Cab Calloway alum who are now on Broadway in the Big Apple.
I mean, being in New York at first was hard, but then and Juliet was my first in-person audition once I got back to the city after the pandemic.
Ben Jackson Walker plays Romeo in the David West Reed's smash jukebox musical and Juliet.
Okay, so Ben would have been in 8th grade when he auditioned for me, and I actually knew right away that there was something special about Ben. He opened his mouth and he sang, and I was like, oh, hello.
I was just saying to someone, like, it feels like you can go to school for acting and learn the skill and singing and all of that. But what you're kind of learning on the job, especially on Broadway, is just like getting really good at repetition. And you're also like having to like keep it fresh every night because you've done it very hundreds of times. But it's amazing.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we're walking up.
The musical has allowed the Broadway standout to perform on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.
I was like, this kid he's got a lot of talent.
Walker was also recently nominated for Favorite Breakthrough Performance for Broadway.com's Audience Choice Awards.
And I think it was just a reminder that people are really watching and people really enjoy the show and enjoy my character and that's awesome, you know. And I think it just like speaks to the fact about how much we all really loved it in high school and how it has just continued on to now, and that's really, really special.
For DETV News, I'm Kaylin Pride.
Very cool. And leaders from our state are calling for the community to sign a petition in support of renaming the Bancroft School in its former principal's honor. Founding members of the Delaware Legislative Black Caucus, Senators Darius Brown, Elizabeth Tizzy Lockman, and Representative Stephanie T. Bolden, said in an opinion column that they fully endorsed the renaming of the school after the late Maurice Pritchett. Pritchett served as principal from 1975 to 2005. The new 160,000 square foot building will serve as an elementary and middle school, replacing the old Bancroft School in 2024. To learn more about the petition, visit Christina School District's website or contact the primary petition organizers. The deadline for submission is Friday, July 14th. A federal grant of $107 million aims to improve high-speed internet access for all Delaware residents, including underserved communities. The grant addresses affordability and lack of connectivity issues, providing qualifying households with free or low-cost internet through what's being called the Affordable Connectivity Program. Delaware has already made progress in expanding broadband access, with plans to connect over 6,000 homes and businesses over the next year and a half. The program is designed to prioritize unserved and underserved communities, with over 140,000 Delaware households said to be eligible for this. State leaders and the Education Superhighway have created a tool to help residents check if they qualify and enroll in the program. Qualifying households can get a $30 monthly discount on home internet services or upgrades to faster internet speeds. Some other families may be eligible for free internet services. For more information on enrolling or to research your eligibility, visit the website seen on your screen. The Wilmington Police Department is warning drivers to do their part to avoid vehicle theft. Police urge drivers not to leave their vehicles unattended while running or having the keys inside the vehicle. Whether it involves cooling down your car before travel or leaving a vehicle running while just picking up something at a store or a restaurant, police urge drivers to turn off and secure their cars whenever they're unattended. These simple steps can help prevent against vehicle theft, they say. Police also remind us to avoid leaving any valuables in plain sight, and to be mindful of spare or valet keys that may be left in your vehicle that could potentially result in a theft. And before we sign off this evening, we of course hope that you are in the middle of a very happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. We're so glad you could join us this evening. Now, if you're looking to travel tomorrow for the 4th, you can check road conditions by looking at the Delaware Department of Transportation's real-time traffic cameras at del.gov, or download the Del.dot mobile app as seen here. Del.dot encourages visitors to the Sussex County beaches this week to buy a 3-zone daily pass for just $10. It can be used on all beach bus services. Riders can download the DART mobile app for quick options, and the DART Transit app alerts about delays, detours, and more. And of course, we can't forget about those fireworks. As we sign off tonight, here is a list of all the firework displays that you can catch across the state. We want to remind you that you can catch Wilmington's fireworks display right here on DETV, Comcast Channel 28, and across all of our social media platforms. We hope you'll join us there. For tonight's news, I'm Matt Ford. We hope you have a happy, safe, and relaxing 4th of July, and don't forget to keep your pets safe while you're enjoying the fireworks. I'll see you later this week.